Yeah, I just had a renter call me, say as soon as I left, two of those little harlots was sitting on my porch or in my yard or something, trying to break in or see if anything was open, I guess. Let me go back over here and check it out. I told him, I said, well, because I'm a spirit-filled believer, the demon-possessed people always have to chase me down and follow me. And they think that they can pull you down to their level, and it never works, you know. I don't know what they're smoking. Demon-possessed people. Let's see if they're walking. I told him, I said, they're not. He said, when they go to the store, I said, they're not going to the store. They're looking for somebody to pick them up and give them some money, exchange some money for something. That's what they're doing. I guess they got scared off because he opened his window and said something. Demon-possessed people really exist, I promise you. They have nothing else. It's almost like a default program. They have nothing else but chaos and drama and confusion and the TV, the music, the culture program is on people, and they don't even know they're being programmed, you know. I'm gonna sit here and just kind of spy out the place for a minute. The Bible says a man's enemy is of his own house, right? So I learned a long time ago, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. If you got some people who are trustworthy, that you can depend on, that are got your back in certain areas, friends, born again, whatever, protect those people. Don't mention their name. Don't talk about them. Protect those people. The people that I'm friends with, that I know have my back, if I called them right now and said, hey, I need $100, I'll pay you back next week, they would Zelle me or PayPal me $100. I tell them not to make comments on my channel because they need to be protected. And so when somebody new comes in, they don't know your family or your loyal people that you can depend on. So some agent comes in acting a certain way, so you talk to one of your friends and say, hey, does this sound right? This sounds a little bit fishy, you know. No, that ain't right. You need to slow it down. Yeah, I agree. Slow it down. I tell my renters, I say, I'll give you a discount if you're my security guard, call me if there's a problem. And they say, okay. I don't know what them women were doing in my yard. I spent one summer putting that roof on that house, the front and the back. That was a job. You know, I thought I had seen it all. I really thought I had seen it all. But Jezebel gets more tricky over the years. The only way a person could be so Jezebelic that pretends to be saved has to be a lifelong training process. Because I can see Jezebel a mile away. If a Jezebel can fool me for a little bit, for a little season, she's been in training. She's military. She's either military or that's all she does her whole life. Because for a Jezebel to fool me, it's hard. It's hard. I can see it. It's almost like I got a spiritual. As soon as they open their mouth, they're Jezebel. If they're interrupting you, that's a Jezebel spirit right there. I guess sometimes it's so obvious you just don't want to believe it. You want to believe the best in people, you know. Look at that. That's a Jezebel spirit. Instead of taking the loss and going straight, she held up all these other people. And she could have went across, turned around, but she wanted to get her way. So she blocked these people, and she blocked me, and she blocked other people when the light turned red. Jezebel spirit. It's my way or the highway. Bye. Let me tell y'all something about the Jezebel spirit. Pride, ego, religious cults, twisting the Bible, twisting the word, hates authority, hates men, wants to emasculate men. I call it demasculate, because DE means off of masculine. She wants to demasculate authority. She thinks she knows everything. She will not listen to you. She will not submit. She only hangs out with people she can control and manipulate. And if she can't control or manipulate you, she's definitely not coming to your territory. She wants you on her territory with all her flying monkeys that she can manipulate. And she usually has to buy power. And she usually has to, she tries to use her body and all that. But as she gets older, she's losing her skills and her gifts. So she gets more erratic and domineering, and she starts to make mistakes as she gets older. Jezebel hates authority. I mean, hates authority. And wants to be authority. But there comes a point where she overstretches her hand because she has no character. She overstretches herself. Notice how she attacked. She had to get the religious people to be on her side. 450 prophets. So if somebody's strong in the word or the truth, they're going to come after you because their pride thinks they can drop you down. They really believe it. They think they figured it out. And I guess they did it with Ahab, so they think they can do it with Elijah. And then when they face off with Elijah, there's no new game, people. The stories that are happening in the Bible that you read, that you open your Bible, they're happening now. You're looking at yourself. You're reading about you because it's the same storylines. They're just micro versions. Micro versions of what's happening in your reality. You can actually watch how they raise their kids, what they're trying to train the kid into being. It's really sad. As the mother, so is the daughter. When the Jezebel mother is training her child, don't you think she's going to train her to be a Jezebel? And make her think that's normal? And the only way she's going to fool somebody is she gets a man, she gets hooked up with a man who's not spiritual. And if she gets hooked up with a man who's not spiritual, who's not born again, then she's going to keep having the same trouble over and over. And she's going to be blaming the men because she gets the same kind of men. And she's going to blame them, but it's actually her. Who's the common denominator? Her. If Jezebel faces off with the same kind of people, and she painted her face in front of Jehu, and Jehu said, "I don't think so." He threw her under the bus, and that was it. She was over. Her demise was evident. Last year I had this one Jezebel. The song that as soon as I walked in the door, there's a song, the crazy song. I think you're crazy, just like me. Jezebel is crazy, but Elijah's crazier. I'm looking for the discounted stuff because if I can get something discounted, I'll go ahead and buy it and I'll use it later. Hey, $249 square foot. Yeah, you have to be spiritual to function down here in this world, because if you're not, you're going to be deceived by every fake person out there. It could be a preacher, a church, a Jezebel, a Delilah. If you're not spiritual, they're going to mess you up, and you're going to be, if you don't run to Jesus and get saved, you're going to have trouble, because these people are master deceivers, and the devil always sends somebody stronger. And every time they send one that's stronger, you learn a new lesson if you're spiritual, and you take it and you put it in the bank, and you don't forget that lesson. And you actually grow from the lesson. You grow higher, to be honest with you. You actually move to the next level. They want you to be bitter and unforgiveness and depressed and sad. Oh no, it's the end of the world. That's what they want. But if God is on your side, there's all things work together for good that love God and are called according to His purpose. And so, you don't have to worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow takes care of itself. Now look at that. That's $249. Okay, that's that one. prices are getting ready to come down. People are not spending like they used to.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a sale here. This is something people need to learn. Like if somebody says, well, do it now. You tell that salesperson that if the opportunity's here now, it'll be here next year or this week or next week. Everything's a cycle. And once you decode this reality, you realize who the con artist is. Anybody trying to rush something right now, they're either in distress or something's going on in their life, Something's going on in their life. The universe works in like slow cycles. Like the cogs turn slow, but they turn. And it's true for, let's say you hurt your arm. It's a slow process. Everything's a cycle. You can speed it up by praying and keto diet and fasting, but most things are just a process, even whether it's healing in any way, emotional or anything. It's just a process. That's exactly what I need to buy right there. When I buy this, just the base, I don't even need the top part. All I need is the base. And then I'll be in my abundant phase of life. I'm just getting ideas. I walk over here and I get ideas. And so while I'm getting ideas, I'm talking. Anything that you do in life, let's say you have a purpose or a goal or a calling. Hey, you have a purpose, a goal, or a calling, right? And so you set your intention and you just watch it start to appear, and you just take one step at a time and it starts to appear. And it has to appear because whatever you focus on will appear. If you focus on something continually, every day, it has to appear. I'm doing a little remodeling. I need some. If you focus on it every day, it has to appear. Think about that. And then all you have to do after that is just maintain it. Once it appears, you just maintain it. That thing was open. You just maintain. They can't hold you down, saints. If you're born again, nobody can hold you down. That's just a mind game they're playing on you. Just got to get out and make it happen.